Hello and welcome to another tips and tricks, another highway tutorial. In this video I would like to show you how to build this interchange, which is called the Cloverstack Interchange. It's a combination of a cloverleaf interchange and a stack interchange. But unlike the cloverleaf interchange, it actually does separate the incoming and outgoing traffic from the main highways. And unlike the stack interchange, it only requires two levels to be built. So as you can see, it's not actually that big, although you can definitely make it bigger. It offers very high capacity and doesn't even look bad considering all the practical benefits it offers. Now, in this particular interchange, I again have this bypass road in here, which actually connects to the trumpet interchange that I showed you in the previous video. That's a bypass road for all the cargo traffic going into the industrial zone, and as you can see, it's not finished down here. I'm going to build one completely from scratch to show you how you can do this one. I picked this one for today's video because this is actually an interchange that you can build really precisely, and you can make it really symmetrical. And it's probably going to look very good, especially from these top views. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so before we start, I should probably mention that yes, I am using mods, probably all the good stuff that I always use, so Fine Road Anarchy, Fine Road Tools, Move It, maybe Traffic Manager and some other tools. Extra landscaping tools, definitely very helpful as well. But today I would like to show you how to build this interchange in slightly more vanilla approach. I will obviously use Move It and all the other mods as well, and they are probably very needed for building this interchange, but you probably might build this even in vanilla, but you will have to experiment with some approaches for yourself. Alright, so as with the previous interchange, I'm going to build it with highways that are not connecting, or not intersecting at 90 degrees. This is something else than 90 degrees. I don't know what this angle is. I will actually show you how you can easily check how that angle, how you can measure that angle. Which leads me to the fact that I also use precision engineering. Precision engineering for this particular build today is probably the #1 needed mod. Alright, so we don't have a highways that connect at 90 degrees because this is slightly trickier, slightly more difficult. And this is probably what you will have in your city. This is how it is in real life cities as well. Highways usually don't come together at perfect 90 degrees. Alright? So, first step, we are going to build those loops that you could see for the Cloverstack interchange. I highly recommend that you build those loops in the two quadrants that have the lower angle, because it probably looks better. If you would build it in the quadrants that have the bigger angle, then the loops would probably need to be really big. In here you can build them a lot smaller. Alright, so let's start. First we are going to practice our, let's say, elementary or high school geometry a bit. First, you really need to, well, you don't need to, but if you want to be precise, you would like to know the angle between these two highways. As I said, I built this completely randomly. I have no idea what the angle is. So, we can measure that using precision engineering and some vanilla snapping tools. Alright? So let's just select road guidelines, road length, angle. We don't even need road length actually. Well, we don't even need angle for that matter, but yeah, I'm going to snap to angle anyway. Now, I'm going to use those road guidelines to snap to these endpoints for the road guidelines and create a simple connections, simple roads like that, parallel to one highway and the other one. Notice that I'm not using Fine Road Anarchy just yet. Now, I want to connect these highways, so let's just make this one slightly longer. I don't need road guidelines anymore. And as you can see, we already have the angle here. So precision engineering tells me that this angle is 58.4. I want to write it down on a piece of paper, or I can just remember it if I have a good memory, which I don't. I can connect them. Now, 58.4 degrees I have in there. That's the angle that these two highways have between each other. Now, half of that is 29.2. It's kind of important to remember this half value. Now, what I want to do to build those loops really precisely is I want to have a road that is going to be exactly in between these two highways. It's very, very similar approach to what we already did with the turbine interchange, but this is going to be slightly cleaner, more precise, okay? So, what I want to do in here is go back to road guidelines. And from this node that we have for these kind of measuring roads, I want to build a road that's exactly 10 units long. I need road length for that, obviously. Exactly 10 units long, okay? Let's do that for the other side. It's very important that it's at the same distance from this starting node, like the other road, okay? I'm gonna do 10 units. Make sure that it's really 10 units. You can double check that by going, for example, for the straight road and just pressing shift with precision engineering, and you should have 80 meters in here on both segments. You do. Okay. So now we can destroy that. We don't need it anymore. Let's just make these longer without using road guidelines. We don't need those anymore. And now, at exactly those 10 units, I'm going to build a road like this. And exactly at those 10 units in here, I'm going to build another road that connects back. And as you can see, it gives me the 58.4 degrees again, which means I am precise here. Can destroy that. And I'm going to do the same exact thing again, but for 10 units more. Okay. Again, 58.4, I am precise here. So I can get rid of that. And now I can build a road like this. And I'm seeing 60.8 and 119.2. Now, is this correct? Yes, it is, because 60.8 plus 29.2, which is the half angle of those two highways, gives me 90 degrees, and that is precise. Just like 119.2 minus 29.2 gives me 90 degrees, which means I am precise here. So this little segment in here, this little road that I just built, has exactly the same angle between this road and this highway, and this road and this highway. That's exactly what I need. Now I can just get rid of all these roads that helped me build that little segment, and I can just now stretch that so I don't lose it. I kind of want to have these roads precise, so I'm destroying the original segment because it had broken zoning, as you could see, which might do some problems for me. Anyway, now we have this road. It's incredibly precise. We kind of want to do that on the other side. I'll probably do that off the camera. It's completely symmetrical. This interchange is completely symmetrical. Now, let's build that loop. So I think that the loop is going to have the diameter of 12 units because it's probably like a standard value for loops that I kind of want to build. And I'm just going to build one half of it in here like this. I'm just kind of eyeballing it to have approximately, I don't know, like a 10 unit distance from the main highway like this. Doesn't need to be 10 units, but looks good. All right, just gonna build it on the other side, and that's it. That's one half of the loop, or one loop on the other one side, and we're gonna build the next one on the other side. Okay, I'm probably going to speed this up because it's completely symmetrical. All right, let's do that. Alright, so now I have the half circles, which are going to form the loops on both sides. Now, I can easily connect them. Well, first I'm going to switch them to the one lane highway, one lane highway, like that, because that's what we need. And we can just connect them to the main highways. Probably with a straight segment. Now I kind of see that this 10 unit distance is actually a bit too much. These loops should have probably been kind of closer to the highways, but it's all up to you. It's all up to you. This kind of looks not that bad, I guess. Obviously, I'm going to use Move It to make it go to the correct vertical alignment after we are done doing the shapes. All right, I can also upgrade the directions, and that's it. All right, so that's the loops. Simple. Now we're gonna build the other connections. So first I'm going to do the connection that connects this highway, this direction of the highway, to this one. All right? And this is going to be very, very simple, very precise as well. I'm going to go with already elevated segments. I'll go with road guidelines again and freeform. Now I want to go to this point on the half circle. Probably like 10 units elevated, I don't know. And then do this to the other, kind of copy like 1/4 of that loop, right? Like this. And I can just take a straight road and I can stretch it all the way here to this node, okay? This road guideline in here. Very, very precise. I can easily do that on the other side. Really quickly, as you can see. All right. Obviously, Move It is going to be needed here to put everything to the correct heights. And also, as you can see, I don't have pillars in here, which means I'm going to just destroy that segment, build it again without collisions, which means that it's going to create a pillar, but unfortunately on a highway. I'm then going to use Move It to move it exactly between the highways to make it look nicer. All right. Should do that for the other connection. Well, that's obviously something that I didn't want to do. Just repair that really quickly and do this elevated. Like that, we have a pillar. I'm gonna move it out of the way. Right, so that's pretty simple. Now, what I want to do here, again, is to take a highway ramp. And this is probably not going to be all that precise, but I want to finish this connection to this highway. Now, I think I want to connect to it at like maybe 25 degrees. I'm not exactly sure. Doesn't need to be 25 degrees. Again, personal preference here probably. But just make sure that you have it the same on both sides, obviously, to make it symmetrical, to make it nicer. Okay, we can update directions, obviously. Just like that, and that's it. All right, so now we want to finish that connection on the other side. This is going to be slightly, well, not really harder. No. It's actually going to be fine. So again, I'm going to take freeform. Could go to the ground already, or I can just keep doing the elevated highway. Now, I kind of want to go to road guidelines again and connect like this. Simple. And then I can easily just take maybe a road guideline again and connect to the main highway. Again, maybe at like 20 degrees or maybe something even lower. Let's just actually go with 10 degrees. It might work, but obviously I have to go to the ground already. Yeah, let's go with 10 degrees. Why not? Although 10 degrees is probably not going to work here because it's a very high radius connection. So let's go with 15. That should be fine. Yes, it is. Well, it's kind of distorted, but we can just use Move It and tweak it. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing exactly on the other side, just like that. 15 degrees. Looks actually better on this other side. Now, it's already coming to an end, almost. The connections that are still missing are these ones connecting this direction to this direction. This one is going to be very, very simple. we can just take random node, but if we want to be like, again, precise, I would probably go with measuring it like from the point where we go over the highway with this ramp. So let's just go to that. I'm using freeform, and let's just measure like, I don't know, 20 units, for example. 20 units, that's kind of in here. I'm gonna use freeform, 15 degrees, why not? And just going to go with 15 degrees on the other side so that the curve is perfectly symmetrical, and it is. It kind of wants to distort on the highway, but that's kind of because we are using highways, you know, from different elevations. We're gonna use move it, make it prettier, make it nicer. I can do the exact same thing on the other side again. So let's just measure 20 units, roughly, very roughly. This doesn't need to be all that precise, because these connections are not really connecting to anything else than the main highways, so nothing depends on them being precise, right? And as you can see, it's already looking like the finished thing. All that's left are the connections between this direction and this direction. And there's multiple approaches on how to do this. The interchange that I built already kind of has like this, where I go with the highway like that. I don't need road guidelines in here, but at the same time they are not really hurting anything, so I might as well use them and just connect them at like this. Yeah, I don't have the main highway long enough for this. I can just stretch it. As you can see, these two ramps are kind of coming close together. I don't really need to do that. There's multiple approaches to this. I can do it like I showed you, or I can just make a completely separate connection. It's probably going to look good as well. Let's just do like 20 degrees in here, and we can maybe connect like this actually, and it should not look bad. Yeah, this is actually very good. Depends on how much space you want to save, obviously. In the city, I have like a residential area in here, so I really wanted to save space, but this actually doesn't look bad, so I think I'm going to go with it. All I'm going to do is just measure this distance, because I want to make it precise on the other side. I did 12 degrees there. This is 10, so I'm going to go with the 12 degrees, come on. Yeah, like that maybe. Don't remember the angle that I did on the other side. I think I did like 20 units, I think. I really don't remember. But you will probably remember if you want to make it precise. And that's it. Hopefully I did not forget any important connections that I needed to build, but I don't think so. I think that this is exactly how it needs to be connected. So this is a Cloverstack Interchange. It kind of looks, well, definitely looks very, very symmetrical, very precise. But obviously you need to use Move It or other like, you know, beautification mods, let's say, to make it look nicer. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, just like in the previous videos. I'm going to speed up the simulation and make everything nicer with Move It, some terrain changes, and so on. All right, let's do that. that is the Cloverstack Interchange finished. As you can see, it doesn't need to look that bad. It's actually very nice. It has very high capacity, like I already mentioned, and it can be even very compact if you build the connections probably in a slightly different way to just save more space. Anyway, that's it for the Cloverstack Interchange. You can definitely increase the capacity by just tweaking the traffic manager settings for all the various splitting and merging points, nodes. I'll probably do a separate video on traffic manager and what can you do with that mod. How can you use it to improve or micromanage traffic in your city? So stay tuned for that. And obviously stay tuned for more interchange tutorials and other videos from the city of Rockdale on this channel. I thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and have a nice day, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.